easy. Yeah, one hit.
And we welcome you to San Bernardino. The Northwest is in the spotlight for a border war to conclude our day. The Bend North Little League champions from Oregon representing Soundview Little League from Tacoma, Washington. It's their first ever time here in San Bernardino. Northwest region, perhaps the most expansive of all of the regions from coast to coast. Just 4 teams in it. Earlier today, Idaho took care of Alaska 12-2. So Idaho will await the winner of this one between Oregon and Washington. Great to have you here with us as we take a look at the Northwest region at a glance. 6-inning games, all rostered players bat in continuous order. That's how Little League rolls. And we've got 1 through 13 players in each batting order for these 2 squads. Great to have you with us. Troy Clarity and Jared Mitchell here with you. Jared, this is Soundview Little League's first ever time in the regional representing the state of Washington. Bend North has been here before, but hasn't come away with the trophy. Should be an intriguing dynamic for this first game.
Should be very good for this first game, and we're finally kind of getting the temperature to run down a little bit. You can even see that on this Oregon side as they move a little bit over, trying to catch a little bit more of that shade, but definitely we'll see a lot of competition on the field, and I can't wait for it.
And you're looking at the batting order for Washington, 1 through 13. You can't wait to see Kason Workman go to work.
Yeah, I mean, Kason Workman at the top of the lineup. Look, he's great at the top of the lineup. He's awesome in the middle infield. What they do, he's probably one of their highest IQ baseball guys on the field at this age. It is impressive to see what this young man can do, and there's a lot of reason as to why they choose him and trust him at the top of the lineup.
Very intrigued to see the pitcher for Bend North Little League. Michael Ryan, dominant, can do a lot of fantastic things on the field.
Yes, and Mr. Michael Ryan, if you watch him go, as you watch him, this kid is so athletic. He is effortless in his movement and his motion, and it's very easy for you to see it. As soon as he starts pitching in this game, you will see why they chose him to open up the start and give them the opportunity to get a win in Game 1.
Oregon and Washington, 2 states that generally don't like each other a whole lot. Healthy rivalry between those 2 states. Enjoy the game. We are underway on a toasty evening in San Bernardino. And Ryan working very quickly down in the count 2-0 to Kason Workman.
Very interesting to see how, especially with Michael Ryan's really quick arm movement. He's got a really quick arm swing. The shadows here and how these guys can pick up the ball could play a big part early in this ball game.
Yeah, shadows engulfing home plate. Meanwhile, the pitcher's mound still in sunlight as we're just past 6 o'clock local time here in San Bernardino. 3 balls and 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Kyle Summer, the Oregon manager, says that Michael has really good off-speed pitches. You're not sure what he's going to throw at any given time. That was fouled off.
And you talk to them about Mr. Michael Ryan, and everyone says his future outlook is super strong and super bright because of how athletic he is, because of how much he loves the ball game, and it's pretty fun to watch.
Close call, ball 4. Workman coaxes the leadoff walk. Brings up Frankie McCabe. Frank the Tank stepping into the box. Squaring off against Michael Ryan.
Frank the Tank.
Clubs that one down the line. That's a fair ball. Colin Frazier and Wright have to go a long way to get it. It's a stand-up double. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out.
Very strong piece of hitting from Frankie here. After watching Workman get that leadoff walk, you see him standing there ready for a fastball, gets it on the inner half of the plate, and Mr. McCabe gets the barrel to it right down the right field line. And these boys are in business with runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out.
It brings up Winston Weaver, a man who has the capability of hitting it out of the park at any given time. That's a ball as the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Soundview Little League out of Tacoma, their first ever state title. Their league was founded in 1970, so this crew able to do something that no Soundview Little League team has done before them.
And not only is it their first ever, they lost their second game in state.
Yep.
Went on to win 5 straight ball games by a combined score of 34-3 from there. So they are riding an absolute heater, and you got to imagine the confidence level is super high in that dugout.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Weaver goes down on strikes. You take a look at how Soundview Little League got here. They did get derailed second game of their tournament against Gig Harbor, one of their big rivals, but really righted the ship after that and then beat Gig Harbor twice to come here to San Bernardino. Paxton Hansen fouls off the first pitch that he sees. Paxton has an identical twin brother. His name's Maddox. 0-2. Ryan ahead in the count.
Ryan is doing an incredible job right now of working ahead and getting himself into really good counts as he's giving up those first 2 base runners with guys in scoring position.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 away.
And this is exactly what they talked about. Ryan is not afraid and has the ability and the actual feel to mix up his pitches and counts, and you can see him throwing a breaking ball, a little change-up, a little something diving away from that bat late in the count, and he's able to get a swing right over the top of it for the second out of the inning.
Pumping the strike zone here. 0-1 to Anthony Romero. No balls and 1 strike. Fouled off. Romero's hot take. Cake is better than cookies, but cupcakes are better than cake. I say why not all 3?
I think we got to slow him down just a little bit on the sweets. I mean, just a hair.
Fouls that one off, just gets a piece of it. Count stays at 0-2. Of course, I would try to enter pie into the...
Oh, you're a big pie guy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I kind of like the cookie. I guess he wouldn't love my taste on it because I'm a big cookie guy. So Mr. Evan, he wouldn't approve of my thoughts.
That's a strawberry rhubarb pie. I'm good to go.
Wow. That's an aggressive call right there.
Kason Workman at third. He walked. Frankie McCabe at second. He doubled. But they've been stranded there. And this one is hit high to right field. Frazier makes the catch and retires the side. Second and third with nobody out, but nobody comes in. Michael Ryan fired up. Washington 0, Oregon coming to bat. Bend North Little League out of Bend, Oregon, representing the Beaver State here in San Bernardino. Their batting order, as they have 12 in their lineup. Easton Donahoe looking to get these guys going.
Yeah, and this is a kid that has incredible feel. Look, they love Easton Donahoe. He's well respected on the team, and he is the guy that leads a player-led team prayer every game. Shows you what kind of leader he is, and now you see him at the top of the lineup and what he can do for this team in terms of his game as well.
Keep an eye on Michael Ryan in the 3 spot as well. They'll be facing Frankie McCabe, the lefty, on the mound for Washington.
Now, after you just saw Mr. Frankie with the double down the left field line, he is their power dominant lefty, but he mixes his speeds well, and he can pitch. He will hit spots, and he'll do different things. Listen, he can play multiple positions, but he leads his team in batting average. But his job today is to be able to shut down this Bend, Oregon lineup. He's a huge competitor, and that's why he's getting the ball today. We should see a good one on the mound.
Washington very proud of its pitching depth overall, with 3 potentially dominant lefties on the staff. McCabe gets the first look, facing off against Easton Donahoe. Fly ball to left, backing up, and reaching up and making the catch. It's Quinn Herschel out there and left, 1 away. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that brings up Theo Iben. Herschel making a nice grab out there and left. There's Theo. Theo says his special talent is public speaking. How about that?
Public speaking, huh? They also talked about he's a very curious kid, always looking to learn, always looking to grow. See how that would serve him well as a public speaker, right? Being able to give you versatile things, more things that can, he could talk about.
2 balls, no strikes. Balls foul. Count goes to 2-1. Bend North Little League went 4-0 in its state tournament. But all games were won by relatively tight scores. 3-0, 5-0, 2-0, and 3-1. Hey, they found ways to win all of them.
That leads to them talking about that staff of theirs, right? Like, it's very obvious that is a very strong, or the strongest point of this team, is their ability to limit what you can do offensively, and they play good defense behind strong pitching performances, and that's how they've made their way here.
And oh, by the way, they have not allowed an earned run at all this All-Star season. Count full. Smack to left, base hit. Iben is aboard.
Tell you what, Iben and Donahoe, you didn't see many pitches, obviously, the first at bat of the game, but these are both full swings. It seems to be that this lineup for Oregon is seeing the ball well. They're getting off their hacks, and you got barrel on one, barrel on the other. We got 1 hit and 1 runner on and 1 out. It's a good job there by taking that pitch on the inner half and shooting it through the 6-hole.
That brings up Michael Ryan. Big Mookie Betts fan. That one misses just a little bit high. 2-0 the count. Brian Riley, the umpire, calling balls and strikes for this game. Tony Bogart, first base umpire. Bill Vicar at second, and Thomas Sheets at third.
Tell you what, they rave about his athletic ability and what he can do in his outlook, and he looks so comfortable at the plate.
3-1.
So you saw him there with the 2-0 pitch. He took it, no problem. Not antsy, not jumpy. 3-1, took it, no problem. See what he does here.
Well inside. And that puts runners at first and second. Ryan with the walk. Brings up Andrew Walke. McCabe looking to try to keep Oregon off the board. Andrew Walke stepping up to the plate.
You see him up there dapping up the catcher and the umpire, showing some pleasantries, but they talk about this kid as, don't let that fool you. Like, he is a fierce competitor. He wants to win, and he ain't afraid to go get it either.
Friendly guy until it's time to flip the switch and compete. 1 ball and 1 strike. Andrew has met ESPN's Jessica Mendoza, probably with for a good reason. Jessica lives in Bend. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So I'm sure that Andrew's seen Jessica out and about.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
1 and 2. Fouled back.
It's a really good job by McCabe by trying to stuff that fastball on the inside part of the plate, being able to spot it up, and now you're able to speed him up. Can you locate a breaking ball, locate an off speed, and see if you can get this punch out or get him to roll over and into a force out?
Waves at it, misses. The whiff, strike 3.
And there it was. Like we said, you get the fastball in after, and if you can just locate, and just he does exactly that. He takes that backdoor breaking ball and just wraps it right around the corner, and it's not able to get a bat on. It's a really good job of pitching.
Benjamin Mormino fouls off the first pitch.
And early on, like he's showing you, those are 2 pitches in a row, but then right after that, he's able to start Mormino off with another fastball in and able to stick it in there and get in the right spot. And he's showing you the ability to execute pitches time after time again, which is super rare at this age.
Yep. It is part of the process from becoming a thrower to becoming a pitcher. And look, it's a process that you can't expect, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids to have down pat right now, but still nice to see them be able to put those things together at least at some point on this level.
I'll tell you what, and the even crazier thing about it is when you're nicknamed Frank the Tank, you're obviously a bigger kid. To be a bigger kid and have that coordination kind of down already, because it usually takes those kids longer to kind of figure out their limbs and their timing and getting those spots right there. He's able to do it at a really young age. It shows you some real athletic ability.
Chop to second. Gets the out there. Both teams get a couple on. Neither team scores. End of 1. Washington 0, Oregon 0. Soundview Little League, its first ever state title. They are representing the state of Washington. They're also representing the city of Tacoma, about 30 miles south of Seattle. Population just under 230,000 in the Pacific Northwest. A lot of industry, a lot of shipping in Tacoma. The military is right there as well. And of course, it's right down the road from Seattle, which is home to several corporations and companies you might have heard of, like Amazon. Microsoft is out in Redmond.
Yeah.
Boeing is further up the way, up in Everett. But Tacoma, in the middle of it all in the Pacific Northwest. Pitch from Michael Ryan is a fastball that misses low to Evan Yarbrough.
And Ryan did a really good job.
As Yarbrough smacks that one off of Bevan's glove. That ends up in right field for a base hit.
It's a very nice piece of hitting there by Evan Yarbrough. Being able to take that pitch, hammering it to the backside. That's such a good job of hitting by a young man, of being able to use the backside of the field and starting his inning off and giving Michael Ryan some trouble again.
Brings up Ronan Loomis. It's high and outside for ball one to Loomis, who refused to have his uniform washed during regionals. A reminder that they played 7 games.
Bless his parents, I tell you that.
Chopper to second. Flip for one. And the throw not quite in time. Loomis able to leg it out.
It's a good job getting down the line by Loomis. Tell you what, watching this Bend, Oregon team in warmups when they took infield, this is a very sound fundamental club. You could see they could play defense really well, and it's showing here early on in this ball game. You and I were also watching their outfielders as well. Some pretty strong arms from left and from center. This one dribbles away and allows Loomis to take second. Yeah, definitely. The arms we saw in the outfield were impressive early on. If they get an opportunity or a shot to throw runners out of bags, I'll be interested to see how that goes, because not only were they strong, they were accurate too, right? And that's a huge thing.
Yes. Back to the backstop again. Firmino quickly off the carom. Now Loomis is all the way over to third with Smith-Hutson at the plate. Backs off the plate. Count goes to 3-0. Smith-Hutson, his nickname, Nasty Knuckles, for what he can throw when he's on the mound. Here, he draws a 4-pitch walk.
Yes, he does feature a knuckleball when he's on the mound. So if you get an opportunity to see him in this tournament, it is pretty impressive. And the thing is, he's not a knuckleball pitcher. Like, he actually has a fastball. He throws the fastball. They just realize that, hey, he can mix this in, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. Tyler Landry fouls off the pitch. Well, once again, Washington with a couple on. They had second and third with nobody out in the first, but did not score. Back-to-back foul-offs by Tyler Landry. He likes a good burger. Who doesn't?
Right? Who doesn't love a good burger? That's a nice job by Tyler Landry. Look, Michael Ryan is up there making him work, pounding the zone, gets ahead, and he's able to put bat on that and keep himself alive. It's a really good job.
Got him. 2 away. Big strikeout for Ryan. And that brings up Bradley Williams. Second and third with 2 out. Bradley says that he knows a lot of stats and facts about baseball players and games. That's a good characteristic to have. As Ryan hits the outside half there, 1 ball and 1 strike. Yarbrough stays. Check that. Loomis stays at third. 2-1. Now 3-1.
This is 2 innings in a row. You've seen this Washington team put all runners on second and third. They need to start coming away and cashing in some of these runs.
0 for 4 with runners in scoring position as of right now. with a chance potentially to do something about it. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. The pitch. Swing and a miss. And Ryan digs deep and delivers another crucial strikeout. Second and third, nobody in. Bottom second straight ahead. Squad from Bend, Oregon, smack in the middle of the state. Home of the last blockbuster video in the world. How about that? Bend North has done some terrific things in this sport, but they're trying to break through and break the state of Washington's streak of 5 consecutive regional championships in a row, and this squad might be well equipped to do just that.
Yeah, I would agree, man. This is a strong squad, and it's led by that guy you're looking at right now, Michael Ryan. But it's a complete team that they've put together, and that's how they've made it here. So it should be interesting to see if they can continue to play the way that they've played through their state tournament, through all of those tournaments prior to that, and see if they can continue on the run.
Callum Frazier looks at the first pitch strike from Frankie McCabe. Bend, Oregon, population just over 106,000. And that is a big, big difference from how many people were living in that city back in 1990. This one's hit to right center field. Bounces, finally corralled by Artie Hinsman out there. Throw to second, off the mark. And Callum Frazier is in with a sliding double.
What a very nice piece of hitting by Callum Frazier. He got the elevated heater up and away, and to be able to keep that swing flat and get to the middle of that baseball and drive it on a line out to right center is impressive, young man. Show off and get on your horse, and you see him running, sliding to second with a nice double.
So the leadoff double by Callum Frazier sets the stage for Ryder Summer at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Swing and a miss. There were just over 20,000 people living in Bend, Oregon in 1990. Just over 100,000 today. A lot of folks moving to Central Oregon in that area, including my brother-in-law. It's a fastball pumped down low, 2-1.
That's a big jump in a small time, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. If you're into outdoor activities, Bend is the place for you. Waves at the off speed, 2-2. The Deschutes River flows right through town. You've got the Cascade Mountains not too far away. 2-2.
I don't know why the Cascade Mountains just sounds like a good time.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Good job by McCabe by coming back. You give up the leadoff double. You're able to get the strikeout after that and not allow them to advance the runner. And you can just see him looking calm, cool, and collected as he delivers this heater with 2 strikes there and gets his out. It's a good job by Frankie McCabe.
brings up Maxon Bevan. 1 ball, no strikes to him. Maxon with a home run in the state championship game against Murray Hill Little League. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Mac wears number 10 because he likes the sound of Mac 10. Mac 10, also Inglewood's finest. Inglewood's not too far away from here. 1-1.
And the word on the street, too, is Mr. Mac 10, if you don't pipe him a fastball. Because if you do, it may not come back. Apparently, there is a ton of pop in this bat. So if you leave one on the heart, it may get lost.
3 balls and 1 strike. Callum Frazier, the leadoff double. He's still at second. Very bottom left of your screen. Now the count full.
Seem to be pretty much auto taking there. See if he can get another base runner on. He's gonna have to fight here, 3-2, see if he can get a pitch he likes and do something with it.
Fouls it off. Battle continues. The 3-2 pitch. Low and inside. Yarnbro tries to find it, fires to third, not in time. So runners at the corners.
It's a very good job by Maxon. Frankie tried to bury that back foot breaking ball on him and got it down there. Maxon just did not bite on it and was able to find his way on the bases. Now we got runners on the corners.
Bury that back foot breaking ball. Say that 3 times fast.
One was good enough for me, so I'm gonna leave it at that one. I think I hit it, so I'm gonna stay there, you know.
Here's Cedar Jacoby. 2 on, 1 out. Swing and miss for strike 1. Cedar says his dream job is to be a high-end sports car mechanic.
My man is into cars.
So you can take, Jared, you can take your Bugatti to him to get looked at.
Oh, the 2050 model?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll wait on it. We'll wait on it.
No balls and 2 strikes. First and third, 1 out. Jacoby stays alive.
Jacoby gets off his swing, man. I can tell you that. He is not getting cheated right now.
McCabe ready, feels the 0-2. Well outside. The 1-2 pitch. Got him looking on the outside corner. McCabe painting the outside half.
Sometimes a bad breaking ball helps you, right? The hitter sees it as the same pitch coming out of the hand, the breaking ball that just didn't break, and nope, it's actually the heater right over the outside edge of the plate. So it kind of worked in his favor that he wasn't able to finish the breaking ball on the pitch before.
Braylon Black looks at one low and inside. Braylon also plays football. Kyle Summer, the Oregon manager, says he's tiny but mighty and always puts in full effort all times.
Yeah, you're never gonna not get Braylon hustling. This is what he is known for on this team. He is a leader in that department, and he always gives that effort.
This one's hit to left. Coming in, Herschel. He can't get there as it falls behind Loomis as well. And Oregon strikes first.
Tell you what, that's definitely not the hardest baseball that Braylon has hit all year, but it's not always about if you can find the barrel. Braylon was actually able to find green grass, which is much more important right here. Finally, we get a hit with runners in scoring position, and you see this club being able to get on the board and break this tie.
Black with the RBI single. Coming into that last plate appearance, both teams had been combined 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. But Oregon the first to come through. Dean Lemke hoping to start a trend.
And McCabe's a tough at-bat for lefties. It's going to be a tough at-bat for Dean. He's going to really have to almost kind of give away that right field side of the field and really zero in on using the middle to the left field side and seeing if he can stay in there long.
In front of that one, swing and miss, strike 2. First and second, 2 out. The 1-2 pitch gets away. Now second and third.
Now Jacoby doesn't have to be anything special here. McCabe just needs to continue to be himself. He's got Dean kind of stepping into the bucket a little bit towards that first base dugout. If you just execute, you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be the nastiest pitch you throw.
Or you can just rear back and just throw some gas by him. Swing and a miss, strike 3 to end the inning. Braylon Black's RBI single, the difference right now. It's 1-0. Well, getting runners on base hasn't been the issue for Washington. Getting them in has been.
And it's been a huge thing. Michael Ryan, 2 innings in a row, he's giving up runners early in to second and third, and then you just see him bite down and bear down and go and get these hitters. And they talked a whole bunch about his ability. They talked a whole bunch about what he could be in the future. What you're getting a chance to see is his competitive nature and his ability to finish these innings that have not started out great for him.
4 strikeouts so far, and Washington leaving 2 runners on base in back-to-back innings, 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position to this point. Bottom of the order for Soundview Little League out of Tacoma begins with Casey Granlund. The 11, 12, 13 batters in Washington's order due up here. The Rooster at the plate. One ball, 1 strike to Granlund. That's on the outside corner, 1-2. Winner of this one will face Idaho on Tuesday. The other team will face Alaska on Monday. Heads up, and a great grab at the stand. Look out! This bare hand grab by a fan about 2/3 of the way up the stands. Misses inside, 2-2. And that's heading out of play. Bouncing.
Granlund's doing a really good job of making Michael Ryan have to continue to execute, continue to throw these pitches. You saw him really foul off a really good pitch by him earlier. You see him kind of foul off that pitch, 100% a strike. He's just a little late.
The saga continues.
This is a really good at-bat by this young man.
Kyle Yarborough, the Washington manager, says Casey's been a constant on this team. I think we're seeing hints of that right here. But Ryan wins the battle. Ooh, a filthy pitch. That's strike 3.
And that's just completely nasty by Michael Ryan to get his 5th strikeout tonight.
Well, follow the amazing kids as they experience their own Little League World Series adventure. Download the Little League World Series app and watch highlights, photos, schedules, and more. Available in the app stores for Apple and Android devices. And you're going to see a lot of different things, a lot of great things from the Little League tournaments from coast to coast that are happening around this time of year. That's Quinn Hershold. It's the first pitch, ball 1. The Junior League Softball World Series wrapped up today with this championship. Congratulations to Mallard Creek Little League out of Charlotte, North Carolina for getting it done. Little League Softball World Series continues in Greenville, North Carolina. And we've got Williamsport looming. We're trying to figure out which teams are going to get there. 3 balls, no strikes. Quinn Hershold at the plate. Now 3-1. Quinn says the most fun thing about playing Little League is Coach Kyle's stories. 3-1. That's ball 4. We're trying to figure out which teams stateside are going to head to Williamsport. We already know a few of the teams that will be there, as many of the tickets already punched have come from the international side. The world is coming back to Williamsport beginning on August the 19th. Artie Hinsman at the bottom of the order tries to bunt, bounces foul.
Artie is Artie hits 13 for him, so this is a team that's not going to hit just 12. They hit 13, so to actually take that quote-unquote, if you want to call it that, disadvantage of having another bat in the lineup and not getting to the top shows you exactly what they think about the bats and the guys that they have on this team and their ability to contribute up and down the lineup.
0-1 lash to foul. Says he'd like to become a baseball announcer. It's not a bad gig if you can keep it.
Very true. Come on up here. We can try you out a little bit in between games if you want.
Already throwing a headset. See what you got.
2 strikes.
The 0-2, low and outside. Herschel dancing around at first and eventually heads back there. It's always intrigued me on the Little League level to see the teams that do have those deeper rosters, 13, sometimes even 14 deep, and how it kind of affects how you approach the lineup in some respects, because that's 1 or 2 more batters before you can turn things over and get things going again.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. And you just, like I said, it tells you what they think about who they have in that dugout, because you're obviously slowing down, quote-unquote, the opportunity to get back to the top of the lineup.
Ryan with another strikeout. His 6th of the evening. Well, Washington's been able to get guys on base, but they've been stranded there, mostly because Ryan has been striking out successive batters.
He's been incredible. That's his 4th strikeout in his last 5 hitters. Obviously, the walk the hitter before, but he's feeling it right now, and he's kind of starting to settle in. And as you've kind of seen through the innings, first, second, and second inning, it's been slow to start, and then he starts getting into a groove, and it almost feels like that's where he is in the game, where he's starting to hit a stride and starting to really feel good about what he's doing on the mound.
Pitch number 60, fouled off, 1-2. Kaysen Workman walked. Ended up at third back in the first inning, but did not come across. After that walk and then the double by McCabe, he went strikeout, strikeout, flyout to end the first. The 1-2. Workman's headed to first. I'm not sure if Brian Raleigh, the home plate umpire, agrees.
I didn't have a hit to. I didn't have a time.
And they're going to bring in the rest of the umpires, and everyone's going to take notes. I thought in real time that I heard the ball make contact, at the very least, with something. I'm not quite 100% sure if it was contact on Workman.
It definitely sounded like there was more there in between just ball to mid. It sounded like there was another sound.
Yep, and they are going to go ahead and award Workman first base. I'll show you what we have.
And if you can hear it, it sounded like there was just something that nipped right before it hit the catcher's mitt, that catcher's mitt pop.
Yep. Well, Frankie McCabe hit a strong double in the first inning. He gets another crack at Michael Ryan here.
This would very obviously be a great spot for Frank the Tank to be able to put one into the outfield, because there's runners on scoring position. They haven't been able to break through and do it yet.
Kyle Yarborough singled out Frankie McCabe as a young man who has made the most strides perhaps of anyone on the team, especially with his emotional growth this season. Turns on this one, but Bevan's right there to step on the bag and retire the side. Once again, Washington with runners on base. Once again, they lead 2-on. It remains 1-0. Little League Baseball Regionals continue with Little League Around the Bases, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Our whip-around coverage of every region continues tomorrow from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, streaming live on ESPN Plus and hosted by Matt Schick and Mike Rooney, so you will certainly be in good hands there. Just saw a shot of the young men from Hawaii, from island of Kauai. They'll get going against Arizona tomorrow in the West region. That'll be a lot of fun. Soft pop up to first. Kieran O'Neill at the bottom of the order is down on one pitch. Bottom third, Oregon ahead 1-0.
Very helpful there for McCabe to give it to come out in this inning and get that one pitch out, one pitch strike you throw there, and kind of gets you. He push you along. Obviously, he's up to 50 pitches right now, but this is what they need, another quick inning to get them back in the dugout and give them an opportunity to put some runs on the board.
Top of the order, Easton Donahoe flew out to left. You saw the young fellas from Hawaii. We have 3 different regionals being contested here. Hard shot to short. Loomis throws to the new first baseman, Paxton Hansen. Quickly 2 away. Got the Mountain region, the Northwest region, and the West region all being contested here in San Bernardino. So 3 teams are going to be leaving here by close of business. Very, very happy and getting ready for Williamsport. Theo Iben Inside and low as well.
Interesting there. He seemed like he was willing to pull the trigger if he would have gotten a good pitch. And let's just say even if he hits the ball as hard as he could possibly hit it and it's an out, it'd be 4 pitches and they'd be out the inning. That's not what you want. So I'm surprised he had the green light there. And still had the green light there in a 1-0 count.
Ivan singled in the first. With McCabe still on the mound. And dealing the 1-1. Off-speed floats. Called strike 2.
And he does a really, really good job of mixing his pitches, just like they talked about. For being a kid that's as big as he is, this is impressive to see what he can do in terms of adding and subtracting with the speeds and being able to spin it when he wants.
Coming from the left side as well. Adds a little bit more to that picture.
Definitely does not fit the old lefty stereotype, right? No. The goofy, kind of uncoordinated lefty. It doesn't fit him.
I haven't thought about it for a second, but did not. And count actually heads now to 2-2. Full count. Yeah, the crafty lefty back in the day.
That is not Frank the Tank.
No. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball right side. Hinsman can't quite get there.
You knew that was going to be a tough play. Hinsman was going to have to get to that wall and find it first. That play takes a lot of time, a lot of reps to be able to trust yourself and understanding the kind of room you either do or don't have down that line.
Got him. 3 up, 3 down. Frankie McCabe sets Oregon down in order, but it's Ben North Little League taking a 1-0 lead to the 4th. Washington and Oregon locked in a bit of a pitcher's duel. And Jared, both Frank McCabe and Michael Ryan, each showing what they can do.
Yeah, they both walked a couple, but you've seen them almost not surrender any runs. There's only 1 run been scored in the game, and both guys have shown the ability to add, subtract, use the heater, use the breaking ball, use the changeups, and get out of jams as they've gotten out of jams late in innings, and that's why you find it 1-0. We have a tightly, hotly contested game here with 2 very good. This is 2 of the better arms you're going to see throw in this tournament here in San Bernardino, and we're getting an opportunity to see it on a nice, beautiful Saturday evening here at the ballpark.
Winston Weaver, the first batter here in the top of the 4th inning of a 1-0 game. Great to have you with us, Troy Clarity and Jared Mitchell from toasty San Bernardino. Weaver struck out swinging in the 1st inning. Washington had 2nd and 3rd with nobody out in the 1st. They had 2nd and 3rd in the 2nd, and 1st and 2nd in the 3rd. still looking for their first run of the day.
2 balls, 1 strike.
2-2.
A very nice cut by Winston Weaver there. Just a hair late.
Next pitch will be Ryan's 70th
2
of the
balls,
game.
2 strikes. Put. Time.
And time called.
Put.
Weaver ready. And the 2-2. Bring him up. Called strike 3. And get the put out at first. Strikeout number 7.
And you got Michael Ryan. Heater before that, goes to the breaking ball, backdoored it, was able to stick it right on the black outside. That's a beautiful job pitching to get his first out of the inning.
And fires a first pitch fastball past Paxton Hansen, swing and a miss. Hansen struck out swinging in the first. And very quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
2 strikes.
Upstairs outside. Paxton, his identical twin brother Maddox, although they're not exactly identical because Maddox is a righty and Paxton is a lefty. Swing and a miss. 8 strikeouts for Ryan.
Mr. Ryan is he is in somewhat of a groove, some would say right now, right? He's kind of feeling it. He's in a flow state. 8 strikeouts right now, under 75 pitches. It's been a pretty strong job up there, especially after giving up a couple hits, a couple opportunities where they could have easily found themselves down.
Yeah, by far the best start to an inning that he has had to this point in the game as Romero lashes the first pitch off foul.
Time.
And time called almost at the very last instant.
It was called pretty late, but you could see Romero kind of calling pretty early. He didn't get it granted until late.
No balls, 1 strike. Fires that one, misses inside, 1-1. Winner to meet Idaho on Tuesday. The other team falls into the elimination bracket and will square off against Alaska on Monday. Idaho represented by West Valley Little League in the Boise area.
2 balls, 1 strike.
2 balls, 1 strike. It's low and outside, 3-1.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Can he pick one out here and put barrel to it?
3-2 now.
He did a good job. He's just a little late. Got to get it going just a hair early, but I do like the swing. I do like the idea. I do like the thought of not really trying to cheat to get what he wanted. Just a little late.
3 balls.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Back to Ryan. The backhand snare. And the throw to first.
And you got Michael Ryan just really spinning it and twirling it. And oh, I can also hop off the mound, backhand stab one and make a play. 1-0 ball game going to the bottom of the 4th.
Jared, Oregon coaches had nothing but fantastic things to say about Michael Ryan, and so far, that young man has lived up to the billing.
He's lived up to every single bit of the billing. 8 strikeouts so far. You see him using the heater. You see him using the breaking ball late as well. You see him do it with runners in scoring position. He's showing you calm, cool, and collected. And you could tell why they talk so highly about not only his talent and his ability, but who he is as a young man, who he is as a competitor. And here you're getting to see him have a chance at the plate again after he's already thrown a very good ball game for this Oregon ball club.
And he's really done his best work when Washington has been threatening to score. Ryan walked in his last plate appearance back in the first inning. Frankie McCabe still on the mound for Washington. Lefty fires, gets the outside half, 1-1. Well, Ryan's been cooking so far tonight. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
And that's such a good job, right? It's just what we talked about Frankie being able to tunnel him. Notice he threw the heater up and away and then comes right back with that breaking ball to follow. Out of the same window, same eye spot.
Well, here McCabe loses him on a 2-strike count.
That's a big mistake by McCabe and a big start for this Oregon team and an opportunity to push another run across, a little bit more insurance for them to keep moving forward. You had him in a spot, you had 2 strikes on him, and you just let one loose a little too far, and it nicks him on that front foot, it seems, and Ryan's the runner on bags now.
Andrew Wolke struck out in the first. Knocks that one into the stands. Foul. 1-1. Andrew, a Kansas City Chiefs fan. How's their quarterback doing? Is he okay?
He's had a strong start to his career, some would say.
And of course, he says, "Hey, my health has never been better coming into this."
I will say this though: this is the first time since his first year playing where there's been some. We don't know what we're going to see, right?
Yep.
Like they've had somewhat of a declining offense, and then you got a quarterback finally coming back off of injury. By the way, it was in November. It wasn't like it was early in the year.
Yep.
Be interested to see what happens in Kansas City this year.
Hit to short. Check second. Throws to first. And it's not in time.
And I knew this one would be a problem. It's a ball not hit particularly hard towards that 6 hole, so you're moving away from the bag. You got a good runner at first in Michael Ryan. You're not going to be able to get the force out. So if you don't charge this baseball and make that off-platform throw across, it's going to be really tough to get any runner out, and he wasn't able to get him there.
And that was a very, very close play at first, perhaps maybe even closer than I may have thought in real time. We play on. Yes, that was very, very close.
It's a very close play. Surprised they let that one just roll. And either way, we are sitting here with runners on first and second and nobody out. And McCabe's going to have to work himself out of this jam.
Trying to find it, firing to third. Everyone's safe. So Ryan heads to third. Wolke heads to second. Oregon trying to get a bit of separation here, and they just might do it. Base hit to left. Ryan scores. 2-0 Oregon.
This is a very nice piece of hitting by Mormino. He gets that elevated heater, and it was looking heater all the way. And you knew it. He knew it as soon as it hit his bat. I got one here. Was able to drive a single into left field and scores the first runner since, what, the second inning of this ball game?
Makes it 2-0. Mormino fired up as he remains at first base. Smile on his face. Brief conference on the mound. McCabe staying in.
Mind you, we still don't have a single out in this inning, so this is It's a very important inning for McCabe. It's a very important inning for this Washington team because you really need to limit what you get because of what you're seeing on the other side. Michael Ryan doesn't seem to be coming out of the game anytime soon, and he is twirling a gem so far tonight.
Callum Frazier ripped the double in his last plate appearance. First pitch strike.
Now he's been able to throw that high heater and then throw the breaking ball off of it. We'll see if he tries to get it done here where he can get that ground ball and maybe get 2 outs.
To the backstop, but not far enough away for Wolke to think about advancing. Mormino advances over to second. 2 in scoring position with nobody out.
It's a really good job by both of the base runners, right? Mormino needs to be super aggressive and get to second and make a decision for the catcher at any situation. And with that ball coming off the backstop hard, really good job at third base by staying.
Two balls, 1 strike to Frazier.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Started playing Little League in 2nd grade and immediately fell in love with the game. 3-1. Second and third, nobody out. First base is open. Big swing and a miss, 3-2.
It's a really good job by Frankie McCabe. 3-1. Everybody in the park pretty much knew what was coming. Mind you, his last at bat, he gave up a double on the heater. And to be able to throw that by him, showing the conviction he had on the heater, was pretty good.
Taps it foul, stays alive. Callum Frazier, the team's pump me up kid. Hoping to pump his team up to an even larger lead. Instead, McCabe deals strike 3 with the high heat.
And there's McCabe. He's been able to hit that spot a lot tonight. That heater kind of up in a way that doesn't just take off on him arm side. Instead, he's able to stuff it in that quadrant of the strike zone, and he needed every bit of that one to kind of get himself going and getting out here.
Ryder Summer struck out in the 2nd. That is 6 Ks for McCabe. Is it me, or do they seem to be 6 somewhat quiet strikeouts?
It's been quiet, and it's multiple reasons it's been quiet, right? Like, you have Michael Ryan on the other side who seems to be really flowing and really going, and,
Sure.
and I think it's the 0 that's thrown up on the other side. It's kind of throwing you off of how well Frankie McCabe has thrown tonight as well.
Inside. And Yarborough finally locates it, but everyone stays put.
Tell you, he didn't see it, he didn't know where it was, but he did a good job of keeping that ball in front, because had it not been in front, we'd be looking at a 3-0 ball game, because for sure there would have been another run scored.
Yep.
While also moving another run to third, another runner to third.
The lefty McCabe deals the 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Ryder Summer says his hobbies away from baseball include football, video games, basketball, and eating. The 2-2. Got him looking. Called strike 3.
It's a good job by McCabe by continuing to pitch, continuing to believe. And this is the growth I think they talked about when it came to Frankie McCabe, where he could easily be seeming like, I could pout, I could be mad, I could be not happy about things, quote unquote, seemingly not going my way. But if you continue to pitch, continue to stay in the fight, keep your team in it. If you can get out of this, minimize the damage, and keep it at 2-0, you still got a chance.
Yep. 1 run in so far. There's a swing and a miss by Max and Bevan. That goes to 1-1. That 85th pitch puts McCabe at the limit. 2nd and 3rd. 2 out, pitch inside, 2-1.
Without seeing the numbers on it, I would go to bet that McCabe is one of those spin rate fastball guys. Just by his ability to use the fastball at the top of the zone, by his ability to get so many swings through it at the top of the zone, seems like guys are not seeing that pitch really well. And there it is again.
Yep. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In the air to right. Drops in front of Hitchman for a base hit. Oregon tacks on another one. Maxon Bevan with the RBI single. It's 3-0.
And Maxon able to kind of stay in there, continue to fight his way, and finally finds an opportunity to dump one right in the short right field, and that might end up chasing Frankie McCabe. Yep, and that's going to chase him. I tell you what, that's a very good game by Frankie McCabe.
Yeah.
You can't be mad at yourself or the effort that he was able to give you and the opportunity that he kept you in the game and gave you a chance to play.
McCabe passed the pitch limit, and that brings Winston Weaver to the mound. We'll tell you more about him in a moment. He's got to figure out a way to get the 3rd out here. Oregon already ahead 3. In this frame to Winston Weaver, who is on the mound. Winston loves to pitch. He calls it the most fun thing about Little League. Well, here you are. Opportunity for Winston to limit the damage here.
He's another guy that's taken a big jump for them. He was known as kind of like another thrower, a guy that had a lot of pure power, a guy that had velo. And then now he's coming into his own. He's learning how to mix his pitches. He's learning how to throw off speeds for strikes, and that could be devastating if he's actually able to do it.
Like that.
Right on cue from Winston Weaver. That's a really good job of spinning that breaking ball and getting himself into another plus count, and let's see if he can put him away.
He does. Cedar Jacoby strikes out swinging. That retires the side, but Oregon able to get 2 runs across. End of 4 in San Bernardino. It's a 3-0 ball game. The sun setting on the San Bernardino Mountains behind us. It's been a well-played ball game so far between Washington and Oregon. The difference is that Oregon has been able to fare better with runners in scoring position than Washington has been to this point.
Yeah, they've definitely come up with some clutch hits, finding ways to push runs across, and otherwise it's been a very tightly contested, very good pitch, very well-pitched ball game. And Michael Ryan is still in the game for Oregon, and you got to see if he can get one more out here, and then they're going to have to try to figure out how to piece it together on the back end.
3-0 our score. 1 in the second, 2 in the fourth for Oregon to this point. We begin the 5th inning. Evan Yarborough, the batter. Yarborough singled to begin the second. As we begin play in the Northwest region today. Hit sharply to left, base hit. Yarborough's 2 for 2.
Yes, he is, and it's a very good job of jumping on something early in the count. And that's a kind of a spark that this Washington club needed if they're going to get something going here late.
Ronan Lewis at the plate. He watches as that one dribbles through. So very quickly, a runner in scoring position for Washington. Again, that has not been the problem. The issue is getting them across.
And you're wondering now if maybe they can get Ryan. Maybe he's a little tired. Maybe he's not finishing the pitches as much. And this would be the time to push something across if you got him here.
Look at the pitching eligibility. A reminder of that, upper left of your screen. With Ryan's current pitch count, we have at 83.
Strong chance this will probably be the last hitter that you see from Michael Ryan. They would love it to end with some kind of an out, some way, somehow.
But right now, Loomis is ahead 3-0. Joe's bunt, pulls back, pitch goes over, 3-1. Ronan wanted to make sure to salute Kyle Yarborough. Says he's a firefighter who saves lives. Then he comes to the field, gives us everything he's got. Loomis coaxes the walk. So first and second, nobody out. And Kyle Summer, the Oregon manager, is going to have to do some shifting around here a bit as Michael Ryan has faced his final batter. And by and large, has pitched a terrific game. Gonna have to depend on his friends here, though. Washington trying to get something cooking. New pitcher, his info coming up. Michael Ryan's evening is done for Bend North Little League as he goes 4+, strikes out 8, hoping to have a shutout performance. The 2 runners that are on belong to him, as Washington is first and second with nobody out, and Dean Lemke has come onto the mound.
Yeah, you said it. His night on the mound is done, but his line is not over yet. Dean is going to come through and see if he can kind of keep these runs from cashing in and helping his buddy out.
First batter faced is Smith-Hutson. Swing and miss on the fastball. Up and away. No balls and 1 strike.
And this is a lefty that this team really believes in. They love the two-seamer that he throws from that funky left-handed slot that he gives you. Does a very good job of hiding the baseball as well.
Sneaky good two-seamer is how that pitch was described by the coaches. Well, the 1-1. Roll down the first base line, but foul. And everybody goes back to their original places with Evan Yarborough at second and Ronan Lewis at first. There's Evan.
1 ball, 2 strikes, play.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Foul again. Of note for Washington, Evan Yarborough, 2 for 2. The rest of the team, 1 for 13.
1 ball, 2 strikes, play.
Well, Evan's having a night so far. If you can kind of get some of you boys to hop in and really get going, this Washington team will love where they're sitting at. This is going to be a tough play.
Yep. Wolke's got nowhere to go and the bases are loaded. A high chopping ball, negotiating the infielder, and that loads him up.
And then you see the chopper. There's only 1 play to make here, and you have to get the read off the bat. He has got to come and get this ball. You sit back, you take the chance of maybe being not able to see it, not wanting to run into the runner, and while someone's running down the line, you just don't have that kind of time to sit back. You sit back, and that's the reason why we see bases loaded with nobody out now.
Brings up Tyler Landry. Check swing fouled off. Landry struck out in the 2nd inning. Bases loaded. Yarborough at 3rd with a single. Loomis at 2nd with a walk. Hutson at 1st with a single. 0-1. In play, throws home with it. Gets the lead runner there.
Wow, I was not expecting that. He wasn't necessarily playing in. It was hit really hard, but he didn't get it off very quickly. So I thought for sure it was going to be grab and go straight to first. As you can see, he's not even bag high. He's behind the bag and backed up on it, and still able to make a strong, accurate throw to home plate and being able to keep them off the scoreboard. That's a great job of making a play.
Did not hesitate.
You see a lot of guys in that situation, especially playing it so deep, would have rushed a throw, not been accurate with the throw, pulled that catcher off the bag. It's a really good job by making a strong, accurate throw to get the first out.
Bases are still loaded, though, as that one's hit back up the middle and through 3 infielders. The throw home, got him! But the throw down to 3rd is low and wide of the mark. Williams is still going, and he finally ends up at 3rd. What a bonkers sequence that was, and Washington plates 2.
Let's not get lost in the shuffle. The incredible throw to home to nail the runner, and we talked about this early in the game, how good this Oregon team was defensively. As you can see, Donahoe charges on the cash at home plate and nails him, and we just throw it away at the end. But what a great job by getting those first 2 outs. He probably should have eaten that baseball and given his opportunity back to Lemke to get that 3rd out on the mound.
This is a strike by Donahoe from center. Just an absolute dart, but unable to complete the sequence. So 2 runs do score, and there is a challenge on the part of Washington, trying to decide and to see for sure whether the runner was out at home. Again, a reminder of how challenges work on the Little League level. Managers can challenge as many times as they want, but if they miss 2 in regulation, they cannot challenge anymore. Let's get 1 in extra innings if it comes to that. Let's show you what we have at home plate.
And you see the throw obviously beats him. It's a very close play to see if he was actually able to get that glove on the back of his leg, the calf area, it looks like, before that foot touches home plate. Mind you, this was called an out on the field, so that's going to matter in a play that is seemingly super close at home plate right here.
And what
I think, and here's the thing, I think he may be on even a little before that, right? Because it doesn't need to be flush. He doesn't need to be smashed.
Right.
If there's any part of that glove that's touching him before that, then we got an out there. This will be a hard view to see. I think the last view gives you probably the best. Yeah, I think this call is going to stand. I think they got this one right. And I think it's also a very good challenge on the side of Washington, too, to try to get this, get this run back.
100%.
This is just a great play all around. Right there. I think right before, because what you can see from the other view as well is that foot that's over the bag is not necessarily touching home plate yet until it goes down. So from this view, it looks like it's touching it, but it's not actually touching it yet.
So that is what we are looking at now. The umpires sorting through the information, and the call is upheld.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. I think they got that one right. And it's a really good job that that was called that way and saw so well on the play in real time.
Well, Bradley Williams ends up all the way over at third. And Casey Granlund at the plate. And, scampers to get the ball back. Granlund struck out to begin the third. Boy, what a wild sequence that play was. The 1-0. Is that ruled to have hit Granlund, perhaps? Granlund's about 20 feet down the first base line.
I'm confused. I thought I heard bat.
So did I. That's what I thought I heard anyway. Umpiring crew comparing notes.
This will be an important call if this. Let's see what happens here.
And oh, by the way, and I think we've given this short shrift over the last couple of minutes or so, this game is starting to rapidly change, the complexion of it.
Yeah, you knew right at the end of it, okay, as great of a night as Michael Ryan has had on the mound, strategically, it was a very unfortunate way for his night to end on the mound, right, with the 2 runners on, no outs to start an inning, and now you're going to have to give the ball to someone else and kind of basically tell them to come and put out the fire. You knew that was going to be tough, and it's proven to be that what those 2 runs pushed across the board in this inning.
Umpire's going to take a closer look to see what actually happened here. As we went through the play in real time and hearing the audio, let's take a listen. So in real time, it sounded to us up here that was off of Granlund's bat. I'm not sure if anything else out there goes ping.
Unless that's a on-deck hitter or somebody in the dugout hitting the bat off a cleat and the mic caught it, I just don't. I felt like that was ball off of bat, and that's what it sounded like. I still don't see where there was a hit by pitch in this situation. No. So I'm confused on that part.
A reminder that our opinions up here in the booth are not the official ones. Meanwhile, Granlund and Benjamin Mormino having a nice little conversation. His catcher's interference may be part of the equation here too. Well then.
That's where the bat sound comes from. Okay.
Well then.
That's where it is. So we got bat to glove, which if that's being called, that's for sure catcher's interference, and he should be getting first base. So he wasn't walking because he thought he got hit. He was walking because he knew he hit the catcher's mitt.
That makes more sense. 3-2 is our score.
And you look behind home plate, they were over there talking it out a little bit like, hey, man, I'm just letting you know I hit your glove. Maybe. Hopefully they didn't see it, though. I don't know. Don't talk too loud. They might hear you.
Yeah,
okay?
Shh, keep it down. Keep it down. Be quiet.
Gentleman's agreement.
It's been a fun ball game, tightly contested all the way through, and it just got a bit tighter after a wild, wild play that scored 2 runs for Washington.
So if this thing's called correctly, we should be looking at runners on the corners here with 2 outs, and now you'd have an opportunity to have a force at second or first, obviously, but this will make it tough because if you're able to either get that runner to second, now you're looking at no force plays that have to make it out to get out of this inning.
The deliberations continue. The winner of this game faces Idaho on Tuesday, while the other team will face Alaska on Monday. And catcher's interference, I believe, is the call here. So Granlund does take first. So back to action we go. Quinn Hershold walked into third. First and third, 2 out. The funky leg kick deals the fastball high for ball 1. Granlund at first. Bradley Williams at third.
And there it is. Yep. I figured this would be coming, especially in youth baseball. This is an opportunity right here for you to make this defense make a decision. If I get this runner off and we can kind of make you make a play or have to try to make a play, we may be able to steal a run.
Yep.
And if you give us the bag, we take it. I personally, as a defense, I would be wanting to keep that runner at first and not giving it up, because what I wouldn't want is a 5-hopper through the hole and now we're down 4-3 in a game that feels like we've controlled the entire game.
Big swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Dean Lemke on the mound. The 1-2 pitch. Ball 2.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Michael Ryan, by the way, is now at short. The 2-2. Count full.
It's a really good job picking that baseball out of the dirt. That could have easily found its way at the backstop, and we could be watching a tie ball game. Instead, you got 3-2. The runners on the corners. You see if you get any kind of motion and what you're able to get at the plate.
Big swing and a miss, strike 3. But Washington is within striking distance. 3-2 our score. Come back for the bottom of the 5th in a moment. Washington had been knocking on the door all night. Bradley Williams at the plate, and let the roller coaster ride begin.
Yeah, it started with the two first hitters in the inning getting on, and then right here you see 2 runs scored, a base hit in a very untraditional way after a runner was thrown out at home. Nonetheless, this is the play that took this from a 3-0 ball game into now a 1-run ball game, and things are getting tight here. It turned real quick.
Fans of all ages enjoying themselves here in San Bernardino. We hope you are too. No matter where you're watching us from. 3-2 is our score, bottom 5th, about to unfold. Bottom of the order, 10, 11, 12 batters for Oregon, beginning with Braylon Black. Black with an RBI single in the 2nd inning. That was the first run of the game. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Braylon's nickname is Lightning McQueen. Winston Weaver on the mound. And heading the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Got him. 1 away.
Weaver did a really good job with the high heater there to get that first out.
Find Little League on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the official handles at Little League. Don't forget to use hashtag LLWS. If you're gonna do the socials right, you gotta have at Little League involved. Swing and a miss by Lemke, who struck out to end the 2nd. Meanwhile, the fact that Winston Weaver came on in a tough spot and in some respects limited Oregon to just a couple of runs in that 4th inning, that sequence is looming larger and larger with this game getting tighter.
Yep, and it's just the Washington team we knew, so talked about all week, we knew that this was going to be a quality pitching staff. They had guys up and down that they felt really good about using, and they talked about the 3-headed monster of the 3 lefties, and this is one of the other ones that they talked about as well.
Another swing and a miss, and another strikeout. Weaver has K'd all 3 batters that he has faced. That brings up the bottom of the order, Kieran O'Neill. Saw just 1 pitch, he popped it up to first.
And Winston's in an absolute groove right now, just really working, being able to spot his fastball, kind of do what he wants, elevating late. He's feeling good.
No balls, 2 strikes. Kieran O'Neill, his brother Finnegan, played in the regionals last year. One and two. With the lights starting to take effect here at Al Hott Stadium. Sunset in San Bernardino.
And you don't have to deal with the shadows. They've been going for a while now, too, so that's helpful at the plate.
Weaver continues to deal. He has struck out all 4 batters that he has faced. And now it comes down to the top of the 6th inning. Oregon clinging to a 3-2 lead. Oregon versus Washington. Washington has run this regional for the past 5 years, and it's been a while since a team from Oregon has beaten a team from Washington in the Northwest Regional. You have to go back to exactly 8 years ago today. Can these young men from Bend North Little League make a little Beaver State baseball history? They've got to finish off Soundview Little League from Tacoma here at the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, Bend North trying to end a streak where it has seen Washington dominate this thing recently, and this has been a very nice ball game here we've got tonight, man. I like what we got going.
It's been fun. It's just the start, too. First pitch to Artie Hinsman. Outside half called. No balls and 1 strike. Hinsman struck out in the 3rd. By the way, one of those runs that Oregon allowed in the top of the 5th was earned. That's the first earned run that it has given up in All-Stars season. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Dean Lemke on the mound. Just misses inside. Winner of this game faces Idaho, who took care of Alaska earlier today. That was a 12-2 final.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
That game won't be until Tuesday. The 1-2. Fouled off.
What is a 12-year-old kid to do until Tuesday, huh?
Well,
nothing but time. You're not home.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because Kyle Yarborough said the fact that when they lost to Gig Harbor in the state tournament and Gig Harbor had 3 days off, that I've actually ended up playing to his team's advantage because they were able to play every day and gain some momentum.
2 balls,
I don't
2
doubt
strikes.
that at all. I'm just wondering in this thought process of you got 3 days with a 12-year-old in a hotel. How do you make it? How do you feel it? How do you make it happen?
You get him out and about. I'm in the batting cage.
Oh, you have to find a batting cage somewhere. That has to be a part of it.
No question.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hinsman at the plate. Lemke deals the 3-2. Fly ball to right. Back Blackett up. It's over his head. Hinsman heads for 3rd. Safe.
And will you look at Mr. Artie Hinsman. What a beautiful piece of hitting. Taking the lefty to the opposite field, and he's able to hit this ball so hard, he gets the right fielder to come starting in, not realizing that he did a great job of backspinning this ball, true spinning it, gets it over his head, and kudos to the Oregon team right here for doing a great job on the relay.
Yeah.
Now Artie's just a little too quick for him.
Top of the order, Kaysen Workman. Walked in the 1st, hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and Artie Hinsman, the tying run. Washington has struggled mightily with runners in scoring position, especially in the first 4 innings, have gained a bit of momentum of late.
And you can see they brought the infield in here, so he's going to need to get a ball to the outfield. Got to imagine they wouldn't just run into and out on a ground ball in the infield. So Workman has a job to do here.
Workman went 3 for 3 in the Washington State Championship game.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Play.
Hinsman at 3rd, the 1-2 pitch. On a high hop. Wolke can't find it. Hinsman finds home, and we are tied.
tell you what, you really got to love what you just saw here. And if you didn't realize, we talked about Artie Hinsman's ability to run, but as you can see here, he does a great job of making a read on a high chopper and understanding that this ball's going to get over the pitcher and I have a chance to score. Mind you, this is the team we've been talking about batting 13 and not being able to turn that lineup over. Well, you're getting to see why they feel so confident at having Artie Hinsman at the bottom of the lineup and what he can do. The triple to right field, reading it well, reading the ground ball at third base well, and now they're tied in the top of the sixth with nobody on and with one runner on and nobody out again, and they're in business.
Is there a better way that Lemke and Wolke could have handled that, pitcher and second?
I think this ball needs to be played by second baseman. That's just me, right? But you also have to charge hard, and we saw this happen earlier in the game where that ball's not charged at second. You have to come and get that baseball.
First pitch strike to Frankie McCabe, who doubled in the first inning. That had been Washington's only extra base hit until Hinsman's triple. And now Workman takes second.
Ben North is going to have to really kind of take a deep breath, compose themselves, and get back into playing the baseball that had them leading 3-0 and not give this thing away.
2-1. Exhale, back on the mound, and away we go, the 2-1. Now 3 balls and 1 strike. Runner at second, Payson Workman, the 3-1. Now runners first and second, still no out. Go-ahead run at second. After Oregon appeared to be in control, ahead 3-0 at the end of 4. Winston Weaver with a couple of strikeouts today at the plate. Go-ahead run, heads over to third.
Lemke's got to settle himself. He didn't love the not strike call on the pitch before, and I think that may have affected that pitch right there, trying to throw a little too hard, trying to do a little too much. Deep breath, bring yourself back to the center, and yeah, you got a job to do. They're going to pull the infield in again here. They're not afraid to go on a correctly read ground ball, so we'll see how this works out for them.
3 balls and no strikes.
3 balls.
First base open. The pitch. Outside, bases loaded. And Weaver is fired up as he heads to first. Bases loaded, nobody out, tie ball game. And a change coming up on the mound. A dramatic way to end our day in San Bernardino. Can Oregon find a way out of this jam? Can Washington take the lead? We'll find out in a moment. Little League thanks its official sponsors, including Adidas and Banana Boat, whose support helps create meaningful experiences for communities, volunteers, and young athletes all season. Little League also thanks its dedicated volunteers who make a lasting impact on millions of children worldwide. It's a tie game, 3 apiece. Top of the sixth. Bases are loaded, nobody out. Andrew Wilkie has come to the mound to try to limit the damage here. The first pitch he throws is low and outside to Paxton Hansen.
Wilkie's another talented arm on this Bend North ball club. He's really athletic. They know what he can do at the plate, but he needs to come through and be something for them on the mound here as they need outs. They still don't have any outs in this inning.
The 1-1, hit in the air to left, backing up, making the catch, gets the out there, the long throw home, not in time. And Washington is in front.
What a great job hitting by Patrick Hansen. And it just, as you watch this club kind of play and fight and claw their way back into this ball game, and now you see them taking the lead here. This is just a good job. You have bases loaded. You get the ball to the outfield. This is an incredible job of sac fly and 4-3 lead for Washington.
And oh, by the way, Washington still with the chance to add on more. Yes, they have another runner at third. Runners at the corners with 1 out. Brings up Anthony Romero, who is flown out and grounded out. Appeal the play over at third. And now a deeper conversation about to be had. Four to 3 is the score. There's Kyle Summer, the manager. He says players often mirror coach's behavior, so I need to present the look of emotion that I'm expecting my guys to play with. Here's a look as they might be trying to figure out if the runner left early, but it does not appear so.
Yeah, I'm not sure this one's even particularly close. I respect the try, and maybe there's more in the strategy in terms of giving my guys a little bit of time, maybe letting them calm down a little bit. But he definitely did not leave early, and I think this is good.
So the umpires grab the headset. They'll get some help from the replay crew on the challenge. It's a 4-3 ball game as of right now. Washington was down 3-0. They played at 2 in the top of the 6th. And they've pushed 2 across so far. 2 in the top of the 5th, rather. They've pushed 2 across so far in the top of the 6th inning. Frankie McCabe. Boy, what an evening it's been for him. Pitched well, but at the time he left the game, it appeared that he might ended up be saddled with a tough luck loss of sorts. But McCabe also contributing with a double and a walk at the plate today.
Yeah, it was definitely headed in the way of a tough luck loss. And it's funny to see him come back now in this situation where he has an opportunity, they have an opportunity to really bust this thing open on the other way around. And it's kind of crazy how the game is. If you just stay in it and you continue to keep playing, you continue to keep giving yourselves opportunities, sometimes you come through, and that's what they've done so far today.
Persistence. And this from a Soundview Little League team that has not been here before. So play stands as called. It remains 4-3, top of the 6th. Anthony Romero finally stepping into the box. Runners at the corners, 1 out. fouled off.
It's a good job there by Anthony Romero. Very aggressive, just missed his pitch, but you can tell he's ready to go. That's what they're gonna need.
That dribbles through. And another run comes across. McCabe scores a crucial insurance run. It's 5-3.
Good dirt ball read by McCabe. Be able to make that decision quickly, allows him to score easily. Move the runner up to second as well, and you're pushing another runner in a scoring position and making it tougher on Ben North to be able to, one, stay in the ball game, but also make a comeback on the other side of it.
Pitch to the outside makes it 3-1 on Romero. In case you're looking ahead to the bottom of the 6th inning, it'll be the top of the order for Oregon. Donahoe, Ivan, and Ryan. The 1-2-3 batters. That one smoked. Foul.
Just a bit late. It's okay. It's actually impressive, more impressive than you think for a young kid to be able to take a pitch like that and hit it that way, that hard. It just shows you that the swing stayed true. Timing was just off.
It's a crucial strikeout. 2 away. So Wolke able to retire the first 2 batters he faces. Gonna have a courtesy runner at second. Replacing Weaver. With Romero coming in. Courtesy runner can replace a pitcher or a catcher with 2 outs. Courtesy runner has to be the player who made the last out. Evan Yarborough, 2 for 2.
This is a big at-bat for Ben North to be able to get this out and get themselves off the field and back into the dugout trying to score more runs.
Opposite field, fouled off.
They have not been able to retire Evan Yarborough today at all. And him getting a 3rd knock right here could really be detrimental to Ben North's chance to make a comeback late in this game.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Romero courtesy running for Winston Weaver at second. Count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ben's favorite food, a medium rare ribeye. Now you're talking. A 1-2. Got him. Swing and a miss, strike 3. But Washington, which had been dormant for the first 4 innings of the game, have taken the lead. Bottom of the 6th in just a moment. Oregon down by 2. The good news, top of their lineup is coming up. The not so good news, Winston Weaver struck out all 4 batters he's faced.
All 4, 12 strikes on the 15 pitches he's thrown. He struck out everyone he's seen, and this is the conversation of the big 3-headed monster lefties that they have. You lose one, you bring in the next one, and he has been incredible in the relief effort that he has done so far on locking down this Bend North lineup and giving his offense, his team, a chance to take the lead.
Weaver has been dialed in at the start. He's getting encouragement from his teammates, trying to lock this one down. But we do go back to the top of the order. Easton Donahoe 0 for 2 from the leadoff spot. First pitch is low for ball 1. Boy, has this game swung. And even though Washington had been knocking on the door for much of the first 4 innings, Oregon seemed to have a bit of a hold on this game. Not anymore. Fouled off.
They started turning some of those early opportunities into actually cashing runs in, right? Like we saw them early get runners on second and third, and they didn't do anything with them. They started getting things done, and that's how they've turned this around.
2 balls, 1 strike. Fouls it off, 2-2. Easton's dad, Danny, is a producer for a video game company. If you're 11, 12 years old, that's gotta be one of the cooler jobs your dad can have.
I feel like he spends a lot of time at Dad's work. I'm just gonna guess that that's what he does.
Hey, Pop, you need someone to help out on quality control?
And if it's not there, it's a Pop, quality control's at home, bring it home.
Workman goes back and brings that one in.
That's a nice play right there by Workman in the middle. Ranging back and kind of taking a hit away in the middle of the field and making it look easy. I love it.
Had a long way to go with his back to home plate. Not bad.
He thought for sure, Donahoe thought for sure he had found one and dumped one in the center to lead the inning off. Nope. I'm gonna go ahead and steal that from you.
Did Workman hit the B button on that one?
Yeah. The turbo, B, the late arms, he did it all.
Theo Iben ahead in the count 2-0. He singled in the first, struck out in the third. The Padres fan at the plate, outside, ball 3. Iben is aboard. And that brings up Michael Ryan.
He's been hit by a pitch, he's been walked, so he hasn't really had the opportunity to swing it. They would love nothing more than for that vaunted Michael Ryan swing, that ability for it to kind of show up in this situation, because they need it.
Evening turning tonight in San Bernardino. Bottom 6th. High strike call. No balls, 2 strikes.
Tell you what, it's such a tough thing to do is stay back on it, right? You get that eye-level fastball, what feels like that high fastball, and then next they tunnel you. They throw that breaking ball right off the same spot, and you have to be disciplined enough to keep your weight back, to keep your hands back, and use the backside of the field like that. I would imagine Winston Weaver's going to make him be able to show that he can do that on a breaking ball right now.
Yep. Instead, he fires it. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Washington is 1 out away from completing a comeback win.
You can see Weaver feeling it right now. I don't need to go to the breaking ball, coach. I'm coming right back to the old hard ball, the country heater, to get his second out of the inning and striking out what has been North's best player, Michael Rhyme.
Washington pitchers combining for 12 strikeouts in this one. Comes down to Andrew Wolke. He was the first strikeout victim of this game back in the first inning. Singled and scored in the fourth. One ball and no strikes. Now 1-1. Ivan at first with the walk. Tying run at the plate. Hit sharply to second. And that's your ball game. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Soundview Little League in its regionals debut gets the win. 9th straight time that Washington has knocked off Oregon. And the fellas from Tacoma get it done here tonight. 5-3, the final score.
The fellas from Soundview in Tacoma, Washington showed up here today and got the job done. It did not start where they wanted it. They left runners on and got where they needed to by the end of it.
So here is what the Northwest Region bracket looks like. Idaho versus Washington, your two winners from today. They will square off on Tuesday. The elimination game on Monday featuring Alaska and Oregon. A fun first day of regionals in San Bernardino. Thank you for being here with us. On behalf of our crew and my broadcast partner, Jared Mitchell, I'm Troy Clarity. What a ball game! And Washington wins 5-3.